king because I'm the best. I'm the king because I do my thing and we swing. Well, it's Monday night and we're going to do this thing. We got to keep the game tight. Yo, I'm talking about something that happened on a Sunday that we won't have me talking about one day. And the one day is tonight. So let's keep it right and real. Yo, let's see. Yo, Saturday night in Madison Square Garden. I don't know. We have one more week and one more day until November 5th, which is voting day. So there ain't no going back right now. But what happened last night at Madison Square Garden was so crazy and it was so concerning. It was alarming, for real. And it makes me wonder if we are or if we may be getting a snapshot of what America is going to look like under another Trump administration. I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all, but the things that I heard last night really just gave me the feeling that the gloves are off as far as racism rhetoric is concerned, bigoted remarks, stereotypical rhetoric. I don't know. This is bad. I mean, there are normally some sound bites and some things to be concerned about in the first place, but it just seemed like last night everything just came to a head. Last night, to me, marked the beginning of not being able to go back. Last night seemed like, oh yeah, this time you're really going to have to take a hard look at what's going on. And on top of that, when the presidential race comes down to the wire, normally you want to be on your best game. You want to have the best game plan. You sort of want to be on your best behavior. It would be sort of like making sure that you're crossing all of your T's and dotting all of your I's to make sure that you go into this thing as prepared as possible and to do everything possible to give yourself the advantage. So what I saw last night, watching that rally, packed rally, sold out, even more people outside that couldn't get in. And I'm like, wow, did anybody really wanted to get into this place to hear that, to see that? Well, because it was Madison Square Garden, as opposed to all of those other places that both candidates have rallied in other areas in the country, Madison Square Garden is the biggest place. It's the biggest platform that you could be in. Everybody in the country knows about Madison Square Garden. This is the big stage. So what we want to talk about tonight is whether you are comfortable or were comfortable with what you heard last night. Now, no matter what goes on in this election, we've heard a lot of things that we thought may have been able to sway the election one way or another way, and none of those things have seemed to have done it. But last night, I don't think that's one of those things that you could easily take your eyes off and act like you didn't see it or weren't affected by it or whether or did not have an opinion on it, on whether it was okay or not. And that's why we're calling this show The Excuses for What Happened at Madison Square Garden on 10/27/24. Because there are going to be a lot of excuses. There's going to be a whole lot of BS coming through about who said what and what the real reason was or what they really meant by it. I don't think that last night left a lot to anyone's interpretation, because as opposed to any other speeches, rallies, campaign stops, there was no sugarcoating last night. In my opinion, it sounded more like a Klan rally. It sounded more like a white supremacy rally cry. Honestly, I don't think that you could explain this one away. I don't think that you could easily sweep this one under the rug. I don't think that you could act like this wasn't there, or this wasn't said, or this wasn't meant. I think this one wrote its own story. It didn't wait for anybody else to write the story for it. What's going on, y'all? Trevor, do you know who John Pork is? Okay. Ahmad Gore? Ahmad Gore? No. Ahmad Gore? I don't know. What's going on? Azmat Usmanov? Hilo? Let me see. Okay. Joel, hail Satan, praise the Dark Lord. Okay. All right. Tower Dog says vote for her, and everyone will be eating out of trash cans. Interesting. And Anarud, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Last night, I don't know. Like if your family or if your ancestors are not originally from the United States, I don't see how you could be comfortable with what you heard last night. I don't care whether you are an Asian immigrant, a Caribbean immigrant, a South American immigrant, a European immigrant. I don't see how you could possibly be okay with what you heard last night. Look, shoot, even bleeding heart racists probably weren't fond of the way it went down last night, because last night was different. Normally there's some subtle racial undertones, bigoted undertones. You know, like he could have meant this or he could have meant that. Last night took away all of the excuses. It took away all of the, well, it could have been this or it could have been that. Last night it was what it was. But shoot, we've been sugarcoating it and glossing over it and acting like what wasn't said or done before. So what would change this? What would change this? Are we going to double down now? I mean, have we had a come to Jesus moment? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with the information that we got last night? Let's talk about it. And by the way, hold on, let me get my bearings together. By the way, my name is Sun752. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. And we actually, our phone lines are acting. Tonight, you can call into the show. We've been having some problems with the line lately. And actually, the lines were acting a little funny tonight. I called it, anyway, the number to call if you want to call in. I'm going to post it right now, and then I'm going to pin it so you won't have to check for it. It'll be right there for you to know for sure. So let's see. That's the number to call. If you want to call into the show and express how you feel about what you saw last night, I invite you to call in. The number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199, baby. Call 319-527-6199, and we can get you right on the line. There are no busy signals here. Just because we are talking to somebody on the line does not mean that somebody else can't call it. So like I said, it's never a busy signal. As a matter of fact, we can do it conference calls style if people who are on the line together would like to talk to each other, whatever. We can do it either kind of way. We have to take advantage of when the lines are open, because sometimes on some nights, even though we're here every night, the phone lines aren't working correctly. So what up? Let me see. I don't know, man. Let me see. Joel T. I don't know, Joe. You may be the only one that's actually speaking here with any sense. And that's okay. That's okay. But anyway, so yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, last night there was a Sunday night, really. Sunday night, because technically it's Tuesday, because I'm on East Coast time. So technically, it's Tuesday. So I don't want anybody to get confused. Sunday night, there was a Klan. I'm sorry, I was about to say a Klan rally. There was a Trump rally. I mean, it was Klan rally, Trump rally, sort of thing. There was a Trump rally in New York, Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden, Penn Station. Madison Square Garden, and it was a big rally. Over 20,000 people. They packed the house, and the thing about it is, at every rally, before the keynote speaker, whoever is running for president of the United States, they have a bunch of opening speakers that lead up to whoever is the front runner, who would be either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. It was Donald Trump's event. It was Donald Trump's rally. So everyone who speaks at these rallies are vetted. So there aren't going to be any surprises when everybody speaks at these rallies. You already know what side they're on, what their point of view is going to be about. There's not going to be any Jack in the Box. No, there's not going to be any of that. You're going to know exactly who's going to be there and what they're going to talk about, and they're going to be pro whoever is running for president. So I have to make sure that I tell you that, because a lot of excuses are going to come around about, well, they didn't know that such and such was going to say this and say that and do this. Yes, they did. They knew exactly who they wanted to speak. Think about it. At a presidential rally, there's Secret Service everywhere. Everybody sort of has to make these clearances. Not necessarily a security clearance like you would if you were working in the White House or as a cabinet member or some type of job in the White House. But you have to have been vetted by whoever wants you to speak there, and they have to know that you are safe. Safe as far as weapons are concerned, as far as rhetoric is concerned, but it gets a little dicey and it gets a little subjective when you start talking about the rhetoric, because the rhetoric could easily spill over into areas where you may not be prepared. But I don't believe that anybody who spoke last night was unprepared. And I don't think that anybody who spoke last night was unprepared for whatever happened with those who spoke before them. Now, we have to remember something about Donald Trump. He has a non-apologetic personality. He never apologizes for anything, no matter what it is. I think Donald Trump could step on your foot and he wouldn't apologize. I think he could offend your grandmother and not apologize. He has that type of personality. He believes that he should be forthcoming in whatever he does, and he should project an air of confidence and of deliberation whenever he speaks. That's who he is. He sold himself on that. People believe it, and that's what we're working with. But I need to know from y'all, how do you feel about what happened Sunday night? You have the comedian up there talking about how there's a pile of trash out in the ocean, and I think they call it Puerto Rico. He talked about how he faces something like, I'm paraphrasing, immigration with open arms, and by open arms he means no, go back. That kind of stuff. That's where we were going with it. That's where they were going with it on Sunday night. Talking about how Latinos love to have babies. They never pull out. They always go in, just like our country. Now, some people, not Trump, of course, but some people tried to say, well, those were just jokes, and maybe they weren't of the greatest taste. Maybe they were said in poor taste, or maybe his timing was off. But he was just a comedian. Now the thing is, if you think about yourself and you were running for president, more than likely a week before the election, you only have 1 week, 7 days. Okay, it was on Sunday night, so he essentially had 9 days before the election. You would probably strategize to try to reach as many undecided voters as possible and try to do everything to try to make yourself look like you were the person that everybody should vote for. That's probably what you should do. But what you heard last night, outside of the comedian, after the comedian, you heard a whole lot of reconfirming rhetoric that pretty much went along with what the comedian was talking about. So was everybody joking? Was everybody on stage? Was everybody giving out one-liners? What are we working with, y'all? What are we doing? What happened last night? From your point of view, what happened? What happened at the Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, October 27th, 2024? What happened? In your point of view, what happened? In your mind, what happened from what you saw? What happened? What did they do? What up, Cheryl Horsey? Tower Dog says, that is why comedy is shit now. Everyone wants to get butthurt about what is said. Well, there's a time and a place. See, I'm glad you said that, Tower Dog, because I'm a comedian. Yes, I've been on many stages. I've auditioned for stages. The first time I stepped on stage, on a comedy stage, was July 17th, 2002. So I know my way around a comedy stage. I know what it's like to tell jokes in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people. I know what it's like. I know all the inside stuff. And you know how it works? If you're going to get booked for an event, then you're only going to get booked based on your ability to relate to the crowd that's there and your ability to be able to generate a crowd. So you could be a bullshit comedian. You could be somebody who's not really funny. But if you can get hundreds or thousands of people into the venue, nobody gives a shit. That's what it's all about. It's about the money, right? Not only that, but they know if your style of comedy is not going to go over well in that venue, whether it's a small club or a big venue like Madison Square Garden, then they're not going to book you. They book you based on your talent and your ability to put asses in the seats. So what we're not going to do tonight, unfortunately, is act like it's everybody else's fault. See, this is the thing about comedy. It's a good thing that I've been doing comedy this long. Here's the thing about comedy. Comedy is the ultimate solo sport. It's nobody else's fault if people don't laugh except yours. Nobody can help you on a comedy stage. Nobody writes your jokes. Well, maybe somebody does, but they can't say them for you. They can't deliver them for you, and they can't make sure that the crowd laughs for you. And if they laugh, it's all your fault. That means you were funny. And if they don't laugh, it's all your fault. You weren't funny. You could say the same jokes that killed night after night after night after night before you got on that stage. If they don't laugh that night, that's your ass. And that's on you. Maybe you should have gotten to the venue earlier and engaged the crowd and found out, read the room, as we call it. You should have read the room. Well, he read the room and he thought that he would be able to get that shit off. And for some people, like anybody who's making excuses for him, it worked. but you know that shit was offensive. Because if it wasn't offensive, if it wasn't dangerous, if it wasn't in poor taste, you wouldn't be talking about, well, everybody wants to get butthurt off of jokes. And it's all good until somebody starts pointing you out and your people. I don't care what country you're from, what continent you're from, what family you're from. It's all good when we're laughing at somebody else, but nobody thinks it's funny when they're talking about them. So, it's not about whether somebody was butthurt. He said the shit in poor taste. And only a dumbass would book somebody who would turn people off a week before the election. It's not smart. It's not smart. Hey, Jay-Z, hold on. You're spamming too much, my dude. You got to stop spamming. I don't mind you saying what you want to say, but you can't spam. If you spam, I got to get you out of here. This is a safe space. This is a place. I believe in the First Amendment. I do not believe in censorship. But if you spam my shit, I believe in getting you on up out of here. That's the way this works. You can speak, but you can't fuck up the chat. Everybody has to be respected in the chat. You don't have to respect me. I don't care what you say about me. I can take it. But you're not going to fuck it up for everybody else that wants to watch the program and have something to say. And that goes for anybody else. See, like Red Point says, shut up. I don't care about that shit. There were people that were here before you came here, and there will be people who will be here when you leave. So you are welcome to stay. You are welcome to go. Believe me, everybody is going to get some rest tonight. Whether you come, go, stay, lay, or pray. So I don't care. What's going on, Magnolia? Thanks for coming through. So yeah, I want to know what y'all think. Like I said, you can call in. You see the numbers pinned 319-527-6199. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something about when you call into this show. When you call into this show, there's no censorship. Now, on YouTube, in the chat, you will notice that there is some censorship. There are some restrictions. They will turn the lights out on you if you write certain things. But if you call into the show, you can say whatever you want. You want to yell, you want to scream, you want to holler, you can do it right here, and it won't cost you $1. You want to curse, cuss, swear. Where can you do it? Where can you do it? Right here. And I don't cut you off. You know how, like, when you call into some radio shows, podcasts, and things like that, they normally only give you a couple of seconds to say what you want to say, and then they cut you off, or they try to steer you towards their thinking, or sometimes they have call screeners, so they'll make it seem like you hung up when they actually hung up on you, that kind of shit. No, I'll let you rock out. You can rock out because I'm not afraid of what you might say. I'm not afraid of what you might say. I mean, shoot, I want you to say it how you feel it. That's what this movement is all about. This is called the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the. We do this every single night. Well, we do it every single day because we do it 2:00 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends we do it at 1 p.m. So that's how it's going down. My people's V. What up, V? Jay-Z, Hannah V. Hannah V says you being everybody's besties. And like, nah. You know how I go. You fuck with me, then I'll fuck with you back. You know what I'm saying? You treat me nice, I'll treat you nice back. You know what I mean? It's even exchange. It might not always be fair, but it's going to be even. All right, Nicole. What's that? Gagnon? Nikki? All right, cool. Keith Tyler, my brother Keith, what's good? Nicole Gagnon says, anybody familiar with Kill Tony comedy knows he's been making racial jokes exactly for 25 years, and he has been 10 number one comedian podcast for exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. They knew exactly what they were going to get by inviting him there. They knew it. So there's no reason to boo-hoo or try to take up for anybody. They knew what he was going to do. So there, for people who are trying to come to his defense, The only defense you can say is, shit. Don't blame the comedian. Blame whoever booked him. Whoever booked him, whoever knew he was going to be there, the blood is on their hands. So Donald Trump has to be blamed for it. No way around it. And it would make sense that that's the reason he did not try to apologize for it. Now they did say, on behalf of some conservatives and some Republicans, because Republicans and conservatives are not exactly the same. And then we have MAGA, which is, it's like they're totally non-conservative, but they're like Republicans on steroids, Republicans X, like what does Elon Musk say? He's dark MAGA, some shit like that. But hey, it is what it is. But it would be different if the comedian was the only one that was talking the way that he was talking last night. But he wasn't. Everybody else who got on stage, I mean, they called Kamala a bitch and all of this. I'm like, this is different. This is different. For all of the conservative Republicans, I know they have to be looking at this like, yo, this is too much. Republicans love to win, and they normally get behind each other no matter who's running. They may not like this person or that person personally, or it may not be the choice of candidate that they like or that they would have chosen, but they normally get behind whoever is running. And this time they're like, no. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I said, I can't do it. Trump in 2016, but in 2024, you know what I mean? I can't let him come through. Yo, that's not what I'm going to do. I got to pick another camp. So, yeah. MAGA is different. But we may have seen last night. We may have seen what last night. I mean, we may have seen what the future is going to be like. You like the Tamarine? Well, wait. Panacam. Wait. Damn, man. Panacanama. Panacanama? Panacanama? I don't know. Okay. Jad man. What's up? Bitch ass. What's up? But yeah, you like the tambourine, you like the tambourine. Sometimes we do to break the ice. You gotta do something with the tam to make it feel nice. Yo, in a minute, I'm gonna get the drum and get the drummer some. You know what I'm talking about, son. Yo, we talking about what happened in Madison Square Garden, MSG. Yo, listening to me. That shit was crazy. If he wasn't offended, then that means he wasn't talking about you, but it's true. Just because he wasn't talking about you, he's really talking about you because you are carnal damage. You are collateral damage. And you will be. Jay-Z says, IQ 85 for Kamala. Now, the only reason you say that is because Donald Trump says that. And you know what? You know what's funny about that? Like, where I grew up at, they called that dick riding. When you don't like somebody because somebody else told you that you shouldn't like them, they call that dick riding. Like, oh, he's my friend, so whoever his enemies are my enemies, even though you may not know the reason for those enemies being enemies, even though you don't even know if they might not be the bad guys. We call that dick riding. Kamala probably is smarter than Donald Trump by 3 or 4 times. Because it's not that hard. It's not that hard to be smarter than Donald Trump. He's not smart. I know he tells you that he's smart. He says it all the time. And you know why people who want to tell you that they're smart, you know why they do that? Because they're insecure and they want people to believe that there's something that they don't really think that they are. So they need that validation. So when he says, if you had a smart president, then we wouldn't have these problems in Ukraine and we wouldn't have these problems in Israel. But you need a smart president. And then people say, yes, you're smart. And if you don't think that something is disturbing by people clapping for a man that says the most ridiculous things, he says, I alone can fix this, but only me. No we. There is no we and I. There is no team and I. He never says, we're going to fix it. He says, I'm going to fix it. That's how he talks. I'm going to fix it. If you had a smart president, not if you had a smart administration, if you had a smart president. Now, you're not going to tell me that you watch Donald Trump and not think to yourself, I think I'm probably smarter than this guy. And if you don't think that way, then you're probably not smarter than that guy. But he doesn't come off as somebody that seems like it's hard to. I mean, he lies a lot. He deflects a lot. He bullshits a lot. But that it doesn't take a smart person to be a liar. It takes a person who doesn't have the information to be a liar, because that's when you have to tell. When you need to appear like you know something that you don't know, then you'll probably direct the conversation to somewhere, where you think that person will not know about, or to take their mind off of the question that they just asked you. So you do something like something called the weave. Called the weave. So what happened? What happened on Sunday night, y'all? Y'all good with it? Y'all good? Tower Dog says she had 3.5 years to do something. Yeah, as a vice president. See, it looks like you know a whole lot about politics. What does a vice president do in 3.5 years? I'm telling you, y'all got to stop listening to Trump and start actually finding out some information. Like, I mean, it ain't hard. It ain't hard. You're watching this on your phone. You know they have this thing called Google. You can research all kinds of shit. You can find out whatever you want. Check it out. It's not a new feature. It's not a new feature. Titus Kara says Donald is a billionaire. He can't be that dumb. I'm glad. Oh my God. I wish I could pin that comment, because I'm so glad you said that shit. I gotta stand up on this one, man. Fuck that. I am so glad that you said that. You know why I'm so glad that you said that? Get this out of the way. I'm so glad you said that, because that is a common belief of the common man. We think that because somebody has a lot of money, then that means they're smart. Well, people win the lottery. Are they fucking geniuses? Are they Rhodes scholars? Are they college graduates? Can they do calculus? Huh? So, yes, he is a billionaire, or was a billionaire, because if you were so smart, then you would have seen his tax records, which proves that he hasn't been a billionaire in a long time. In a very long time. So he's not a billionaire, but we do know that he has millions of dollars. So he has hundreds of millions of dollars. I will say that he's not a billionaire. He's absolute. If you notice, he doesn't say he's a billionaire anymore. He does not say that he's a billionaire anymore. If that's not the most telling thing, then what is? I'm gonna make sure. Hold on. Make sure my microphone is not banging up against the chain. Make sure it's not banging up against the chain. Yeah. So if you believe that somebody is smart just because they have a lot of money, that probably means that you devalue people who don't have a lot of money because they're supposed to be stupid. So if you yourself don't have a lot of money, then you should be looked down upon because, you don't have a lot of money. Maybe you don't even make six figures. You don't make six figures in today's economy? You must be a dummy. I mean, did you graduate high school? Did you go to high school? You got rappers who didn't graduate shit. Like, look at Lil Wayne. He didn't graduate high school. He used to brag that he's never seen a high school classroom. Now, all of a sudden, they talking about he has degrees. I'm like, well, did he get his GED first? Because normally there's a process that goes, let me just refamiliarize y'all with how the educational system goes. Normally, you go to elementary school and then to middle school. Some people call it junior high. Then you go to high school, and then if you go, you take higher learning classes. So you're a freshman in college, and then a sophomore, and a junior, and then a senior. And if you have enough credits, like 125 credits, which is what I needed to graduate from Penn State in 1993, then you graduate. So, yeah. So you've pretty much tapped into why people support Donald Trump, because they think if he's smart enough to make a lot of money, then he can show me how to make a lot of money, or he may be philanthropic and give me some money. The only problem is Donald Trump came from money. You probably grew up, had to wait for certain things that you wanted. If your parents couldn't afford it, that's not his story. He grew up a millionaire. His father gave him $400 million to start up. Now, $400 million is only $600 million short of $1 billion. So he didn't have that far to go. Now, I'm not going to say that Donald Trump is not smart. He's smart in certain kind of ways. Sort of like a con man. A con man is not stupid, but when you start basing somebody's intelligence on their ability to be able to deceive you, in other words, if you think that somebody is smart just because they can outsmart other people in their advantage to be able to generate income. In other words, if I can swindle you and outsmart you out of your paycheck, then I'm smarter than you. It's your fault that you believed in me for this bullshit and I took you for your money. So I'm smarter than you. Does that work for you? Because it works for Donald Trump. He believes in that shit. And that's why he always throws things out there, because he knows that the public will just bite onto any of that shit that he says. Because number one, he's rich, and number two, he was the former president. And he says that he always wins. All right, what we got? Okay. Get off my dick, Jay-Z. You ain't getting shit. Fuck you. All right. Spartacus. All right. What up? Frankie Martinez. You said all he does is win, win, win. Is that all he does is win? Well, how come he's not president? If all he does is win, win, win. Why is he, the candidate? I thought all he does was win. What was you want to tell me? They stole the election from him? How did he let them get away with that? I mean, it didn't happen, but if all he does is win, you can't outsmart or cheat a winner out of their crown or their trophy or their purse. You can't do that. All he does is win, right? All he does is win. 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 Yeah, fuck out of here. You said been almost assassinated twice in one. Wait a minute, stop. Wait. You say Kamala has a no, not you. Somebody said that Kamala has a IQ of 85, but you believe that there were 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump? Well, did you buy his assassination edition sneakers? You remember he's selling sneakers for $300. Did you buy? But he has these special assassination attempt sneakers. Now, let me ask you a question. If somebody attempted to take your life by gunshot, if somebody attempted to take your life, would you make light of it? Would you make light of it by selling paraphernalia to commemorate you being almost to commemorate an attempt on your life? Would you do that? No. Would you do it? Would you do that? Would you monetize the threats on your life? Would you monetize that? Would you? Would you? And speaking of that, so, on the second attempt, they never fired a shot. The would-be assailant did not fire a shot. So there's no attempt there. I mean, it depends on what you call an attempt. Okay, I'll give you that. It depends on what you call an attempt. Now, the first one, where he supposedly got shot in the ear, he did not get shot in the ear. That's why he won't release the records, the medical records, to say what actually happened. He wore that big ass patch over his ears for a couple of weeks or whatever. And then when they take the patch off, his ear is fucking pristine. He looks like an unshot ear. No marks, no nothing. Talking about he heals. He's a great healer because he's in such great shape. Are you fucking Wolverine, motherfucker? Are you Wolverine? Come on, man. Come on. What we doing? 319-527-6199. We can chop it up. Come on. Somebody has to call in. 319-527-6199. Come on, baby. 319-527-6199. Come on. 319-527-6199. Yeah, the number is pinned. 319-527-6199. Yes, again, I said a 319-527-6199. 319-527. Come on, 6199. Call in. Don't be a coward. Be brave like Trump. This won't be an assassination on your life. Call in. Get your thoughts together. Don't be nervous. By the way, please, we got 124 people in here. Please hit the like button. Can we have more than 17 likes? You're not going to tell me that y'all don't like me more than 17 times. Somebody in here got to like me. Somebody in here. They just have to. Guadalupe Lopez. Crazy Steve says, dude is Jew-pilled. What does that mean? Let me see. Bartonius Austinius? Ain't nobody calling to talk to a shit. Yeah, but you're in here talking to a shit. For you, my dude. Fuck out of here. FM says, what's the topic? Trump speech? No, we're talking about the excuses for what happened in Madison Square Garden Sunday night. Can you deny, and I'm sure you will, can it be denied that was racist rhetoric? It was uncalled for. All of it was said in bad taste, not just the comedian stuff. All of it, all of the speakers. Oh, we have callers calling in now. Well, one of them I know is legit. Oh God, the other one, I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. Jadman says, I don't like you, bro. Yes, you do, motherfucker. You on my dick, too. Fuck out of here. Jason Jackson says, I'm sick of the way we pick who will run the country. A popularity contest filled with with lies and finger pointing. Shaking my head, so mature. You know, I actually agree with that. I do. And Prodigal Select says, intelligent conversation is impossible with rhetorical redundancy. I agree with that, too. We actually had some people in here with some sense and some tact, and somebody who probably reads a book every now and then instead of little shorts of videos. I like this. Jason Moore says, bro, the Dems should be nervous. We are. The Dems should be nervous. And the Republicans have to be nervous too. This race is deadlocked. It's dead even. You don't know. We won't know until the ballots are counted. We won't. And we're not going to know. We're not going to know on November 5th who won. It's going to be like 2020. So you're going to have to wait probably until November 10th or something like that to find out who won the election. I know y'all don't want to hear that shit. It doesn't matter. These elections aren't like they used to be, decades ago or whatever. This is not the 1900s. This is the 2000s. And now the internet, and especially COVID, has brought us to where we are now. Oh, look, I got some. COVID has brought us to where we are now. So this is what we have to deal with. So I don't know who's going to win this election, but I know that whoever wins this election, there are going to be dire consequences to the American public, because we're dealing with a rogue type of situation. We're dealing with reckless abandon on the Trump side. It just is. You can say whatever you want to about Kamala and Governor Walz. You can say whatever you want to. What you can't say is that they're fucking dangerous. And what they try to say about them is that, look, look what they've done to this country. I have one question. I have a few, but this is the one that's pressing me. Because, with immigration being the big issue, that the GOP is pushing. And Donald Trump says that we are a country under siege. We have been overrun. We have been taken over. I just want to, these towns and these villages and these cities where all that have been ravaged by all of these immigrants, these criminals, these murderers, these rapists, these mentally ill people that they've just dumped into the United States, running across the border, flying in, boating in, going underground, tunneling in. If any Americans are on here, I want to know where you live that has been overrun by immigrants. Because what he fails to do every time he talks about these places that are being overrun is he never names them. Where are these cities? Where are these towns? I want to know what town you're from that has been overrun with immigrants. Like, yo, Mr. Jackson used to live over there, and Miss Taylor used to live over here, and the Jenkins family, they used to live there. And I'll never forget the Kowalskis. They were over there. And oh yeah. I can't forget the Moskowitz. The Moskowitz, they used to live over there. And now all you see is Pedro and Jose and Marta, Marisol, and Maria. I just want to know, where do you live where it's overrun by immigrants? Like, oh my God. Listen, and maybe it's just me because I'm from Philadelphia and we have a lot of immigrants in this city, but we ain't overrun. So I just want to know, where are these cities, these towns that had these immigrants march in here and just, where is it happening? Galveston, Texas? Tell me when it wasn't Tell me when you didn't have Mexicans or any Latinos in Galveston, Texas. You know Texas is really Mexico, right? Dude, you're getting disqualified. I'm not fucking with you. Crazy Steve said New York City big time. Crazy Steve, you know I'm from Philly. My daughter lives in New York. I go to New York all the time. They ain't been overrun by shit that they ain't been overrun with before. New York, name me a time when New York was all black or all white. Please, name me a time. Find me a time, a decade, a year, a day, a week, where New York had nothing but black people or white people. Find me a time in New York find me a time in history where New York had nothing but American-born citizens. Come on, man. I know you didn't say New York. That was dumb. Frankie Martinez, ponchos for Trump. Spartacus says, Crazy Steve, definitely smoking the bubble. Walmart in Secaucus, New Jersey. Shout out to Secaucus, New Jersey. They used to have all of these what do you call them? These outlets. I remember my man used to get his Gucci from Secaucus back in the day. Marcus B says, why did YouTube suggest this guy to me? He's a liar. Oh, come on, Marcus. Man, I'll be trying to tell the truth. Nicole says, dude, I need one. You're just not reading it. Wait. You said you need one. You need one what? Dude, I live all the way in Maine, and they built a whole brand spanking new apartment complex for Haitians. Is it being overrun? The question, I didn't say where there are no immigrants, where they're being overrun. Ain't nobody going to overrun Maine. First of all, nothing but white people live in Maine. Nothing. So if they got Haitians, they're brand new, and they ain't overrunning nothing in Maine. Nothing. Nobody wants to move. My roommate, my college roommate in 1991 was from Maine. He told me then. He said, ain't no black people in Maine. Ain't no black people in Maine. So if they're in Maine, they're in Maine. But Maine is not a small state. It's a big state. All the way up north. All the way up in the northeast. Cold as shit. Like right now, what's the temperature in Maine? Probably in its 20s. Yo. The whole apartment complex. Oh my gosh. Come on, you can do better than that. A whole apartment complex? Oh my gosh. All right. World War III, yes or no? No. That's all fear mongering. If you said if Skamala wins, will you be mad? No, I'll be happy as shit. I hope she beat the shit out of this motherfucker. I hope she beats him like he stole something. I hope she beats him like he touched your sister. I want this guy gone. I want him gone. I want him goner than ever. I don't want to see him again. I want him out of here. Danny Williams says one is too many. I'm glad you said that because that's the real problem. One is too many. Cheryl Halsey says we are in California being overrun. There's never. Y'all got to read your history. You got to read your history. This is not going to work. Do you know that there's a reason why damn near all of the streets and cities in California are named after Spanish names? Like, you just thought maybe they just thought like it would be cool to name all the streets and cities Spanish names, huh? Like that would be cool. Yeah, let's just do that. All right. Crazy Steve says, name 5 reasons why you hate Trump. Well, let's not use the word hate. Okay, number one reason is the Central Park Five. That's the number one reason. Number two reason is the real estate housing discrimination. That's number two. Number three is Barack Obama. I didn't like the way that whole birtherism thing. So he already had a rich history of racism coming in, and that doesn't sit well with me. Number four, let's see. Number four, I don't like what his administration did from 2017 to 2021. Don't like it. Don't like it. I don't like the way he handled COVID. He mishandled it. Totally fumbled it. I don't like the way he tried to play it down like it didn't exist. I don't like that. I didn't like it. I don't like, and number five, I hate how divisive he is. I hate that shit. You will never hear him say that he's a president for all Americans. You will never hear him say that because he doesn't want to say it, because he doesn't want to be that. Now, I could actually go up to 10, but you asked for 5, so I'm just going up to 5. We do have a call on the line. I'm going to take the caller now. Caller with the last numbers 4605. Thank you for holding. Welcome to the Daily Go-Getterism Show. What's on your mind tonight?
Good, dog. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling like a real man should. You already know. What's up with you?
Ain't not much. You know, man, Harris for 24, man. Stop letting these cats get you all upset on there. You got haters all the way coming out, you know, out here trying to get you all riled up. They playing with you. They know Harris gonna win this, y'all. You know, the one thing about the show, let's get back to the facts. We're talking about what happened at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
100% you right. It was a rally. It was a clear rally. It was no black people allowed. You know what I mean? None whatsoever, but security. That was it. You know what I mean? Everything he said, he touched on Latinos, he touched on Mexicans, he touched on black people. You forgot. He said something about the watermelon and baby oil acting like Puff Daddy. Yeah, you gotta go back and listen. Yeah, see, some stuff like that. Like, yo, the boy was wild last night. That comedian boy was off the fucking chain. So when you do things and like say things like some dickhead said when Trump went, they gonna build a boat and take us back to Africa. And I was like, well, you ain't gotta worry about no fucking chains and whips on that mug, because that's gonna be the Mayflower 2.50679, or the Mayflower 357 party boat going back to Africa. You know what I mean? But let me ask you something.
Okay.
You say Trump is a businessman, right?
That's what they say. He is. He's a businessman. That's for sure.
So answer this: if they gave him a chance right now to drop out the race with no jail time, do you think he would take it?
No.
Why not?
Because I think he believes that if he wins, he won't have to worry about jail time. I don't think that there's anything that would make him drop out of the race, because his ego will not allow him to do that. That would be like quitting. So in order for Trump to accept defeat, there has to be no other option. So you see how like he got his ass handed to him in that debate against Kamala. And then he said, well, I won the debate, because he likes to just claim victory. He knows that gets in people's heads. Like, well, he said he won, so maybe he won. We need to take a look at this. But so he said that he won, so he's not going to debate her again, because only the loser wants to have a rematch. Totally ignoring the fact that when you have a presidential run, you go through 3 debates. The initial one, the second one, then the town hall. You're supposed to do 3 debates. So if he dipped out of debating Kamala again because he knew he couldn't beat her, then there's no way he's going to be able to save face and drop out of the election. So no, I don't think he would. There's nothing that he would be able to do to save face if he dropped out of the election. So I think that option for him is totally gone. So no, I don't think he would do that. I'm sure he wouldn't do it.
I think he's gonna get house arrest. House arrest in the White.
They're not gonna
crazy shit.
They're not gonna. I don't honestly believe he'll get jail time because he's slippery. I don't think that he'll get jail time, but I do think that they have to sentence him. I mean, 34 felonies, 34 counts. You have to do something. Something has to be done. They're not going to be able to get, because it's such a high profile case that's never happened before. No other American president has ever been convicted of a felony before. They have to do something because you're on the main stage. There are too many eyes on this. They can't slip it. They can't sweep it under the rug. And it wouldn't be so bad if this was his only offense. But he's already, the sexual assault thing. He lost that. Yeah. He lost it twice. She came back and sued his ass because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, all right, smack your ass again. Take that. More money, dummy.
But two things that I'm going to hang up with you. Say he's slippery, right? So do that mean that if they caught him for not to be flippy, hang him with the baby oil, so he'd be in a showmate with the jail with Puff?
Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that crazy ass shit you talking about. Man, first of all, I don't think Puffy gonna do no time either.
So I just said, because they said Harlem ain't got no baby oil. But listen, right? So the other thing, I'm gonna tell you the dumbest shit that I ever heard him say. So my sister got married on a cruise about 2 weeks ago. We was coming up. What was that last storm? Milton. We was coming up behind Milton.
Okay.
I'm watching the TV. This motherfucker say the government controls the weather, and people start believing. And I'm like, but why nobody asked him? Well, when you was in there in 2016, did you control the weather? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think that the government controls the weather in some ways, because I think they do. There was a thing called the HARP Project, and I thought it was a little odd when Haiti had those bad earthquakes, and it really just ravaged Haiti and fucked it all up. Meanwhile, Haiti is on the exact same island as the Dominican Republic, and the Dominican Republic didn't get hurt at all. Right. Just seems it's an island. How can it's an island? How can you have an earthquake that ravages one side of the island and I mean, it's only separated by an invisible line, like.
Right. But it rains on one side of the highway, no rains on the other side.
Well, that's true, but we're talking about an earthquake. Like an earthquake is not the same as a rainstorm. Rainstorms have everything to do with the clouds that are in the sky. So yeah, it's very possible that it can be heavily raining in one area, and then a few blocks or a few miles away from that, yeah, they may not have any weather. And that can also depend on the direction of the storm. But when you talk about when you're talking about an earthquake, you're talking about tectonic plates. You're talking about, like look. Yeah. Only thing I know about the government. Only thing I know about the government is what I don't know about the government. And I mean, of course they have secrets and things that we may never know. So
So and another thing, I was listening to you. Don't get me twisted. I've been on here since you've been on, right? Mm-hmm. And you said that they won't show because of his ear and who makes him famous about selling $300 pair of sneakers. You forgot about Bush. Remember the boy do the shoe at Bush, and those shoes went platinum like a mug. Everybody was buying the pair.
Yo, I do not remember that. First of all, they wasn't sneakers, and it wasn't. Man, it wasn't. It wasn't even in this country. We don't know what kind of shoe that was. If you don't go here with that bullshit you talking, get out of here with that. Talking about they was selling like hotcakes.
Don't get the dog the other morning because he threw the shoe at Bush. Now,
he only threw one shoe, and I believe that was the Cinderella slipper.
Still were famous though.
That was the Cinderella slipper he threw at him.
I don't give a fuck. This shit wasn't famous. At the end of the day, you said who abolished of selling $300 pair of sneakers, and I just had to correct you, but I'm not gonna correct you wrong like that. But I'm just saying, you forgot about Bush.
Man, you crazy as hell.
He didn't move out the way that quick. He got clocked in the head. He knew what he was doing. So yeah, he tossed that shoe. She was a deadly weapon back then.
Well,
you know
in the country that it happened, where he threw the shoe at Bush, that meant that was the ultimate disrespect. That's like saying you the devil. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you are the scum of the earth. But you know, speaking of those $300 shoes that he's selling. Now, you want to say that Joe Biden has ruined this economy, and you know, you talking about the price of food, like he's probably like, do you think he's ever been in a grocery store to feel the brunt of the okay, but you say that gas is inflation is at an all-time high, gas is too high, food is too high, everything is too high, right? But you're selling sneakers for $300 and have the nerve to sell, even for a higher price, the assassination edition, and you selling watches for as high as $100,000 in this economy where you can't even afford food, gas, recreation, housing, or any of that. But you selling $100,000 watches and Bibles. Mm-hmm. You're selling, you know, he got Trump edition Bibles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, $59.99. $60 Bibles. Trump edition Bibles in this economy. So, you know, like, yeah, you need your Trump edition. Like, no worry about how bad this economy is. Yo, I got shit for you to buy. That's expensive, not cheap shit. No, this is not Walmart shit. This is not five and below shit. This is expensive shit. A $60 Bible with American rhetoric and yo, come on, man. Come on.
Listen, let me explain this to you. I went to Montreal this weekend, right? Montreal. I passed up there by Lake George or George Lake, whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, I stopped up there by Lake Classic. You know, stuff that big alligator movie. So I went into the store, you know, the truck stop there. Yo, Trump t-shirts, a Trump hat is damn near $90.
Mm-hmm.
New York for Trump. I'm like, what? So, you know, as you've been one of the minorities, you had to watch, you know, what you say. Like, they tell us now that we're not allowed to talk about the election and don't talk to people, you know, because they get us suspended and everything. But, yo, that's Trump country. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So, like, all them guys is on your joint right now. I'm switching subjects. All them guys, man, just hating on you, son. Don't worry about it. You gotta get pretty so your haters still pretty. You gotta let them come after you. You know what I mean? So, you know, Harris for 24. I want you to stay up, keep your head up, and man, you do a wonderful job and let everybody come and give out their voice. And then, you know what I mean, good or bad, no matter what. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of you, son.
Yo, man, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you 100%. Thanks for calling through. I'm calling too. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
Well up, and give me a call. Give me a call. Holler at me tomorrow.
All right, later.
All right, one. So West Oz says he's smart for that, though. He's smart for that. This is the thing. This is the shit that gets, like, it's so contradictory. It's so contradictory. If any other candidate except for Trump was doing this shit, if anybody else besides him was doing this shit, y'all would be like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. No, you can't do this. You can't do this. Like you would look at it like it was a joke. But for Trump, y'all were making all of these excuses for him. So what did we have? Hold on, because there was more. He's smart for that. Somebody said, "Oh, headbanger babe says, and you don't need those things, but our basic necessities are." So it's okay for him to it's okay for him to shit on the economy by selling these expensive things, but you should be concentrating on the things that you can't get. Look, if the economy is so bad, how or why would you laugh in the bad economy's face and the American public by selling these things that are not worth shit? Those watches that he's selling, please go online and look at these Trump watches. Please do yourself a favor. These are not Rolexes. These are not Cartiers. These aren't even Breitlings. These are not, this is and them sneakers, to me, this is just like a slap in the American face. It really is. Like, so I'm over here struggling to buy eggs and meat and I have to go with meatless spaghetti and things like that. That's what Americans are saying. But Trump is selling $300 sneakers like they the latest Jordans that came out. These are the latest retro Jordans that came out or something like that. And for anybody who is middle class to be making excuses for that shit, it just shows you. It just shows you the absolute power and the influence that he wields, even though it totally goes against what your needs are and what your position is and what you're going through. If you can listen, I know for me personally, I'm not going to make any financial excuses for anybody who makes that much more money than me. I can't do it. I wouldn't give a shit if it was Trump, Kamala, Barack Obama, of the Clintons. I wouldn't give a shit. I don't make excuses for millionaires. I don't. I have too many. I have my own problems to worry about. I have my own middle class problems to worry about. I'm not defending no venture capitalist. Not doing it. But I'm also not buying no $300 sneakers. Not that bullshit. I would buy $300 sneakers, but not those. They're ugly. Oh, by the way, he got sued for that because the soles of the sneakers are red, and Louis Vuitton has a patent on red bottom. All my fly people know what I'm talking about. All my fly people know what I'm talking about. All right. Headbanger Babe says Michael Jordan was the worst. That's one of our own using us. He's not using you. Nobody told you to go out and buy those fucking sneakers. I know I've never stood in line to buy any Jordans. What do you mean using us? And they're not Michael Jordan. That's Nike. Come on, man. Peace to you, Guadalupe. Lou Sassel says, head honcho, you're defending a convicted felon and rapist, homie. I'm not defending that motherfucker. No. Oh, there's somebody in here named Head Honcho. Says you're defending pedophiles. Tim Richardson says, how does anyone in middle class family afford $300 sneakers today? One thing I've learned about one thing about the poor or underprivileged or people who don't have a lot of money they will spend money on things that are expensive because they feel like that gives them a little clout. And we are in a 100% clout chasing economy, and that's just the atmosphere that we live in now. It's all about the clout. It's crazy. It's ridiculous it's probably ridiculous to people like you and I. But yeah. So people who may only make, I don't know, $20,000 or $30,000 a year, and I'm not speaking bad about anybody who makes whatever they make, because hey, you have to work for your own money, and you have to make it work regardless of how much or how little it is. But people who may only make $30,000, $20,000 a year will find a way to save up $300 and buy a pair of sneakers like that. Oh yeah, I got the Trump edition sneakers. Yeah, I support Trump, and I consider it to be an investment. I consider it to be an investment because when he wins, he gonna give us another stimulus package. Yeah, I've heard black people say that dumb shit. Yeah, the reason I'm voting for Trump is because he gave me the stimmy. He gave me a stimmy. You dumb motherfucker. He ain't give you a stimmy. A stimmy. He ain't actually made a fucking. A lot of people believe. Excuse me. I don't mean uneducated as far as not going to school, but that also. But when you're uneducated, when you don't know a lot, when you haven't been shown a lot, when you haven't been exposed to a lot, yes, you will fall into this fucking useless thinking and this misguided logic. You will, especially since you smoke weed all the time and whatever substances, because you know how it is. The pills, the weed, the alcohol, 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 pills, the weed, the alcohol, pills, weed, alcohol, pills, weed, alcohol. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, it never surprised. Listen, I grew up in Philadelphia. I still live in Philadelphia. I knew people who grew up in the projects, and for what it's worth, they always dress nice. Broke is a joke. Public housing, but they dress nice. It's their little piece of the pie. Can't afford stocks. Don't know anything about the stock market. Don't know anything about investing. Don't know anything about generational wealth. Don't know anything about residual income. Don't know anything about that. But you know that if you have on a nice pair of sneakers, some designer jeans, and maybe a gold chain or something like that, people think that you're doing well. I don't like it, but I get it. But those are the type of people, and it's not even just black people. White people do the same shit. I mean, have you ever really thought about why, like, some southern rednecks, or you don't have to be from the South to be a redneck. You can just be, out in the country or whatever, some heartland rednecks. Do you ever think about why low income people support Donald Trump? Like, does that make any sense to you? Like, it makes total sense that if I'm corporate America, if I'm in the 100 millions or billions, of course I'm going to look out for Trump, because he's going to look out for me. That's who he looks out for. But for you lower middle class cats, you under 6-figure making people, you don't mean shit to him. A vote? Yeah, but he's not going to do anything for you. He doesn't understand you. He's never hung around anybody like you. He doesn't deal with your type. He doesn't. And that's why when I look at this shit, I look at what happened on Sunday night with this whole, with all of the bigotry and all of the racism spouting and all of the stereotypical, all of that crazy shit. And I'm listening, I'm like, y'all dumb motherfuckers paid to get in here. Like, you gotta be kidding me. For all the Latinos that were fucking pissed off. Like, this motherfucker's talking about mass deportation. I guess you figure, that's the funny thing. I guess you figure, well, I'm Puerto Rican. Ain't nobody deporting me because I'm an American citizen. And you're right. But who was the first one that they dissed on Sunday night? You. Puerto Rican. You Puerto Rican. You too Boricua. That's why that shit, I'm like, yo, man. But they told you what they think of you. For them to hire a comedian to do that to you, that's what they think of you. So the next 4 years, that's what you're voting for. And you came in there in droves. 20,000 people came into that stadium to hear that shit. You paid to get dissed. And it didn't stop with the comedian. It started with the comedian, but it didn't end. Speaker after speaker after speaker was talking about your dumb ass. And I say your dumb ass not because you're dumb, but to support somebody who doesn't have your interests, your cultural interests, your familial interests, your financial interests, your regional interests at heart is the dumbest thing I can think of. He hasn't told you his plan for anything. Only thing you know about is mass deportation and tariffs. Name another, and neither one of those are policy. But he hasn't detailed anything dealing with a plan at all. At all. So Kamala Harris has to be on point. She has to detail and spell out everything that she's talking about. But this motherfucker, all he has to do is say, oh my God, I'm gonna fix everything. Like, I'm gonna protect you. What is he gonna do? What could Donald Trump do to protect women? Like, I promise not to sexually assault you this time. Promise. Probably because I'm old and I can't get it up no more. But Melania's cool with it. Speaking of Melania, she was at the rally last night, but she don't go to no other ones, do she? Never in presidential history has a wife not held. Oh, by the way, she's an immigrant, isn't she? And came into the country illegally. So I gotta make a little adjustment over here. I got some OCD when it comes to some certain things. So my monitors got to be right. But yeah, so she finally made an appearance. Vanley says, this guy got to be joking. How do you become like this? No, I'm wondering, how do you become like that? Head honcho says she's not black. And let's say, let's kick this around. Let's say she wasn't black. Okay. Let's say she wasn't black. What does that have to do with her qualifications? I know one thing. Donald Trump doesn't work at McDonald's. I know another thing. He claimed to have bone spurs to avoid going to the Vietnam War. He was a tennis player. Talking about bone spurs. You know how hard it would be to play tennis? He was an active tennis player. You know how hard it would be to play tennis if he had bone spurs? Are you? You said she didn't either. So, well, that just shows that all you do is listen to Donald Trump. And this is why this is really the problem. Like, it would be different if you actually read something, but you only listen to Donald Trump. And that shows it. That shows it. Because if she never worked at McDonald's, ask him to prove it. You know what this motherfucker said? Yo, this is funny. He said he went to the McDonald's that she so-called worked at. And the manager who's been working there, I can't make this shit up. The manager who's been working there a long time said that she never worked there. You know, Kamala Harris just turned 60 years old. She just turned 60 years old. When do you think she worked at McDonald's? When the fuck do you think she worked at McDonald's? You think whoever that manager was still working there? Because whenever she was working there, it wasn't in the 2000s. It certainly wasn't in the 90s. It wasn't in the 80s either. It might have been in the 80s. It might have been in the 80s. But I'm like, y'all just listening to anything this motherfucker say. No research. You have a computer right in your hand. You can research that shit. Do it now. Google, did Kamala Harris work at McDonald's? I bet you what it's not going to say. It's not going to say no. It's going to say yes, she worked at McDonald's when she was in college. And what the fuck would he care? What? Like, this is the dumbest shit. Like, this lady was a fucking prosecutor. Do you know what it takes? Do you know what it takes to become a prosecutor? No, it's not. You're not just some lawyer who barely graduated law school or barely passed the bar. You know what you got to do to be a prosecutor? And then she became a senator. Like, she's actually done this. Like, Donald Trump has never held office. He's never has he ever had a job? Has he ever had a job? Do you know, does anybody within the sound of my voice know if Donald Trump has ever worked for somebody else in a different capacity than his family business? Like, has he ever punched the clock, had to be somewhere on time? Has he ever been part of the working class? This is an easy answer. I don't care if you didn't graduate high school. I don't care if you didn't graduate 8th grade. This is an easy one. Yeah, some random dude, please. Call in, please. You see the number? You see the number. It's pinned right there. Call in. Don't hesitate. Jadman says maybe the TV show. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Look. That's. Can you hear what I'm saying without saying it? Like, Timothy says he never claimed he did. Of course he did. He never did a lot of things that he does claim. My point is, he says everything that he's going to do for the working man, but this motherfucker told you. He told you at the rally in Michigan that how he told you how he has shitted on the working class, people who have worked for him. He said how he would veto overtime. He didn't want to pay overtime to any of his employees, so he would bring in other employees so he could just pay them straight time because he never liked overtime. He don't give a fuck about you working motherfuckers. Come on, man. He told you that. Like, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I hated overtime, man. You know what I mean? It would take so much money. So yeah, I would bring in other employees, and scrap the overtime. Like, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Brandon Mock says taxes got lower. Well, if you followed when he made that tax cut, the taxes were initially lower. It was a tax cut. But did you follow him to the end of his term? Like, y'all know, like for the people who think that they got the stimulus, you didn't realize you paid for that in your taxes the next year? Like, y'all don't. Y'all I'm not whining. I'm not whining. I'm whining for what? Listen, I'm gonna be all right either way. I just don't like the one thing I hate is misconception and miscommunication. I hate that shit. Why can't we? I mean, I don't see. Okay, I say that the only things that are hard in life are the things that you don't know. So if somebody is teaching you something, but they're teaching you the wrong things, so you know the wrong things. So it's going to make life harder for you because you think that you know something that you don't know, and you think that you're going to be able to do something that you can't do because you don't know how to fucking do it based on the fact that you didn't fucking learn it because you weren't taught it correctly. No? Makes no sense? Okay, let's keep going. Crispy Bacon, what's going on? Inflation, says Crispy. What up? Lance Miller says, you just stuck on Democrat plantation. Well, tell me what those Republicans have done for you. That's because, yeah. What have these Republicans done for you? Especially all my black people out there. I always wonder. I love to hear your answers when I ask y'all this question. What have these Republicans done for you? Because I like the way y'all always talk about what the Democrats haven't done. You know, y'all want to talk about the welfare. Oh, yeah, they just want y'all to become sheep. I'm like, you don't have to accept anything. Look, I've never been on welfare. That's for sure. I've never been on welfare. And I can guarantee you I never the fuck will. But I'm glad that it's available for those who are less fortunate and less informed who may need it, because welfare covers more than just, you know, people. It covers more than just food stamps. You know, our Social Security is a welfare program. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. But, okay, we have a caller on the line. All right. Caller with the last number is 1466. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, first off, I just want to say it's my first time ever tuning into your show. Thank you for allowing people to call in, and thank you for giving us a voice. So maybe if people don't agree with your opinions, or if they do, they can support the cause or call in to be able to debate the cause if necessary. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And thanks for calling in. So what you got?
So first thing I want to say, I always like to start off my conversations with a compliment. One of the things you just said on the show, you recently said, you know, if you were taught the wrong things, you're going to have, you know, you're going to do it the wrong way because you weren't taught the right way. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely true. 100%. I agree with that wholeheartedly. The reason I'm calling in, some of the things that you've been saying, I think from the standpoint, it seems like, again, it's my first time subscribing or at least tuning in. It seems like you want to be almost like apolitical in the sense that you're not saying don't vote Trump or don't vote Kamala or vote Kamala, but what you're doing and what people are saying in the comments is it's kind of like you're just, you know, spewing this Donald Trump's bad, which is what everyone keeps hearing and no one's buying it anymore. And so we could talk about some of the things that were said. I don't care regardless of who wins, you know, like you just said, I'm gonna be all right regardless. But I think that people just aren't buying some of the things that's being said, especially when they've been lied to from the other side just as much, if not more, than what Donald Trump has done.
Okay. Now, one thing that I really have against Donald Trump is the way that he manipulates the media. Because he's been on TV for years, he really understands the way the media works. And on one hand, it's very clever that he gained that knowledge and experience and that he's able to use it to his advantage. On the other hand, he has murkied the water so bad on one side that he has destroyed your confidence, or should I say the American confidence in everything except for him. And I don't see how people miss that point. That's one of the biggest problems I have with him. He came in talking about fake news, right? So although I totally agree that I've had a problem with the American media and all media outlets because they all spew propaganda, but they are Correct. A source of information. So when you totally discredit all the information, like then he didn't tell you to vet them. He didn't tell you to filter them out. He didn't tell you that, listen, you have to do your research about what they say because all the things that they say may not be correct. So you have to make sure that you do your due diligence and secure your information to make sure that you can make informed decisions. He didn't say that. What he said was, it's fake news. Don't believe anything that they say. And I have a problem with that. I mean, and he hasn't done that to just the media. He does that to anybody and everybody who has anything negative to say about him. So that would be the FBI, that would be the CIA, all government agencies. I mean,
So can I ask one?
yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to ask a question. So, and this is so I don't misrepresent you or get anything wrong. Can you give me an example of how he manipulates the media? A quick one, and then I'll answer onto it.
Okay.
I just don't know like exactly what you mean by manipulate.
Okay, he doesn't manipulate the media. He manipulates the public through the media. So where he tells you not to believe anything that any of the news outlets say, except for Fox News. So don't listen to CBS, don't listen to ABC, don't listen to NBC, and don't listen to anything else.
Okay, I get it.
And you know he does that. He does it.
Okay.
So everybody except for Fox is wrong. And only Fox is right when they totally 100% back him. And now, am I wrong about that or not?
So I'm absolutely going to say, yeah, he's going to, of course, lean because they support him. He's not going to put him down. We can see this with Trump all the time. That when the people who support him, they're in this corner. He talks nicely about them. When they're not in his corner, of course, he's always putting them down. That we can agree on, okay? But to say that, he manipulates the media by telling, or the public by telling us that this is fake news. Listen, I think those seeds of doubt were already there. You have so many situations, so many instances where the media will divert the attention of the American population so that they can pass things over on a pass-over bill or put some other agenda on, regardless of who's in the seat of the president at the time. For instance, like I can go over some examples. Remember when Ebola was a huge thing? That was a big thing. All over the news. Then all of a sudden, no more Ebola. Hey, we even had everybody still remembers the pandemic, right? The COVID shot. That was it. Supposed to stem it or cure it, slow it down. Now we have people coming out. Maybe it wasn't the right idea, right? Maybe we shouldn't give this COVID shot to everybody. People are having negative reactions to it. Ivermectin. Hey, this is such a bad thing. They talked about Trump about it, right? Now it's coming out. Oh, maybe that was something. So I think what's going on with the people is they already had doubts about the media itself because the media is constantly pushing narratives, regardless of like not even about politics, just about things in America itself. They're constantly having to be corrected or getting sued, like Fox News got sued, right? Constantly. So people already don't trust the media. I think the other thing is with these news media companies, I'm going to take a slight tangent, but I'll come back. The invention of the internet really devastated like legacy media. Okay, a lot of people started going elsewhere to get their news. That's good and bad because as we know, online could be full of BS just as much as it can be full of facts, right? And if people don't know where to go to the right place to get that fact or if they believe in something they're reading that may be completely false, right? Yeah, they can be misguided. Kind of going back to what I alluded to earlier with what you were saying. But the point is, I think that those seeds were already there, and so when he said that to people, right, the news is lying, fake media, all that good stuff, fake news, right? I think the American people already believe in like, yes, you know what? There's somebody who's saying what I'm thinking. I'm tired of getting lied to. I'm tired of it. Again, and the last point, I think, with Trump and why people do like him so much, right, what we're seeing, people saw Republicans and Democrats come into power, and nothing was ever done for them. Nothing was ever done. And so I think people got tired. The lowest guy got tired of just being walked over, crapped on. And here's this guy who just speaks his mind, says what he wants to say, good or bad. I think what he says is freaking terrible. He has a potty mouth, but at the same time, I'd rather him say some crap like that than say these political talking points I've heard for all my life and for most of my my parents' life. All they heard was these political talking points, and nothing ever changed. Even the facts show that when most presidents come into office, they don't change much. They put in a few policies, and that's about it. So I think the American people were fed up, and that's why. They're not uneducated. It's not that they don't want to go fact check per se. They just get tired of being lied to, and they rather have the chaos, whether it's good or bad, than go with somebody that they feel like is not going to do anything that's going to keep the same thing going that's been going on for years in this country.
Now, I appreciate. I actually appreciate your talking points. I do. The thing about it is, we're talking about the president of the United States. We're not talking about a lawyer. We're not talking about a coach. We're not talking about our moms and dads. We're talking about the president of the United States. And the president of the United States has a certain duty. And in my opinion, he strays way too far off of what we elect a president of the United States for. I don't need an icon for a president of the United States. I don't need an iconoclast for a president of the United States. I don't need somebody who's going to throw out a bunch of taglines and a bunch of quotes like, fake news and a bunch of anthems and things like that. I don't need a president that I have to watch on TV every day. I don't need that. I don't need a president who sets the news cycle through a tweet every day. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want that, and I don't appreciate it. All I want a president of the United States to do is to do the job of the president of the United States, which is like the CEO. The president has to make sure that the country does not go broke. He is supposed to make sure that the financial interests of the United States are always keeping us in the black. That's what he's supposed to do. So all of those little back and forth arguments that he gets into, all of those times that he allows people to bait him into little back and forth arguments and things like that, like, it's totally unacceptable. Now, I mean, I get it that he has the type of personality, especially when you watched him on TV for 11 years. I get it. You feel like you know him. But evidently, you know somebody as a TV personality, a reality TV star, and a public figure as far as being a billionaire, a businessman is concerned, is a lot different than the president of the United States. So like at your job, you may like a guy because, like, he's a great guy. He's funny, he keeps it real, he keeps it 100. But that doesn't mean that you want him to be your boss, because he's not qualified for that. Yes, he's a joke. He may be a jokester, or he may be the type of person that'll put somebody in their place verbally. But that's not what we need to make sure that I get a check every week or every other week. That's not what I need. I need somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. And you can't tell me that somebody is doing the job of the president of the United States if he has a camera stuck in his face all the time. There are only 24 hours in a day, no matter who you are. So if you spend a certain chunk of it doing a certain thing in front of the camera every day, then when are you taking care of policies and things like that? Because he'll tell you that he doesn't rely on anybody else to help him. All of the decisions that are made are his. But I wanted to ask you something. About since he came up with this whole fake news thing, and he was saying what you feel a lot of people were starting to think anyway about how the news may manipulate things and spread propaganda, false propaganda, and things like that. And I do agree with that. But you said something interesting. You mentioned how Fox was sued for $750 million over the false claims that the 100% evidence of fake news, isn't it?
Agreed. Across the board. That's why I say I think all legacy.
So wait a minute. Why hasn't Trump called out Fox News for fake news?
And that goes back to what I said. When someone's in Trump's corner, he doesn't say anything about him. As soon as you lose favor with Trump, he's gonna talk crap about you.
Fake news, baby.
100% fact. That's 100% fact.
So
that's not something that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But see, this is why I can't fuck with this man. You understand what I'm saying? Like the way that everything that he likes, it doesn't matter what it is. Have you listened to him? Everything that he likes is beautiful, is wonderful. You hear the way he talks? Everything. Gotcha. I mean, he overhypes. Like, look. This This is listen. I'm holding up. I'm holding up this earbuds case, right? Trump will say, "Look, there was this beautiful earbuds case. These wonderful earbuds. These totally wonderful earbuds case." And I'm like, "It's a fucking earbuds case. Get the fuck out of here. It's not all beautiful and all that shit. It's a regular inanimate object." But if he doesn't like it, it's ugly, it's disgusting, it's a problem, it's stupid, it's unintelligent, it's low IQ, it's the worst thing that I mean, come on, man. I mean, is there any middle ground? Is there any middle ground? Can something just be all right with this guy?
So I totally get what you're saying. I totally understand. Again, I'm gonna say this is your platform, and I thank you for letting me be on it. And I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm gonna rebuttal some of the things you said.
Well, hold on. Wait, just before you go into that, right? Let me tell you something. My skin is thick. This is a totally uncensored show. I don't want you to ever. The reason I've let you talk this long is because it's your right to. I don't want anybody to ever come on this platform, whether you're in the chat or whether you're on the line, and feel like you can't say what you want to say or that you can't speak from the heart. That's not what this is about. So you say it the way you mean it. I don't want you to pull back. You don't worry about me or the audience. You say how you feel. All right.
So when it comes to like what you're saying about Trump, and I agree. Let me circle back to something. You said that, we're talking about the president of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. The president, the office of the president of the United States. We need to have somebody in office who should have that role. Two things with that. Number one, when I watched the debate against Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, right? The first thing I said, one of my best friends, big on the left side, me and him talk, we debate about this stuff all the time. He said, "Who won the debate?" I said, "Kamala Harris won the debate, but America lost the debate." Because the two candidates that we have up, again, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but the two candidates that we have up cannot stop bickering and arguing with each other. You talk about Donald Trump and how he may say things, or maybe he exaggerates things, or maybe he lies about things. We could say the same thing about Kamala Harris, right? We could say the same thing about the way she switches up about policies and then tries to deny what she said about policies. We can look at the entire debate with Tulsi Gabbard that she had and how she was called out multiple times about things she's lied about. Or we can look at the biggest lie, right? To this day, she will refuse to say that Biden is not in a mental decline. Yet he's not in the race anymore, and we all know why he's out of the race. We can look at him. We saw him in the debate. We all know that, Biden is not there, right? I say it all the time when I see any of the news shows, "Get my grandpa off stage, please, okay? You're embarrassing him. Let Papa go rest for a little bit, okay?" So both of the candidates do the exact same thing, just in minor different ways. But if you want to take it further, right, with the office of the president, I got a little book here. I'm a military pilot. Just throw my background there. I'm a military pilot, right? Mm-hmm. So reading the Constitution, right, and there's a great little book about the Constitution. Goes over the story of the Constitution and how everything came to be, how the Declaration of Independence came to be, right, and reading everything that's inside of it. One of the arguments, if you read the Federalist Papers, one of the arguments inside of that was that they believe, because no one wanted a federal government at the time. No one wanted a federal government. They believed that if they made a federal government, one of the things that would happen was the highest people in state government would be the only ones that would probably get elected because they would be at the tip of the spear of American civilization. Mm-hmm. I don't see that happening with either of these candidates. So I look, I'm not going to disagree with your opinion on Trump. I'm not going to tell any of the audience that some of the things that you're saying is not true. But when the people look at the established political demographic that's been going through, just basically like a revolving door, walking in and out, and nothing getting done, they're pissed off, right? And they saw enough change underneath Trump, I did too, that it's like, I'd rather go back to that than to take a chance at what's going on right now, may be worse. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking you. I get what you're saying. You don't like what he says. You don't like the way he talks. I got it, right? But she's an unknown quantity of maybe a worse United States. When at least with Trump, it was a decent United States. The rhetoric might have been up in the arms. I believe that's a big propaganda. That's a different conversation you and I could have. I believe that's just the blind American people, and the media spits it out for their own purposes, right? But the point is, people would rather go back to that than go to something that we don't know, especially when she does the same thing. If she came out and she just dropped her policies, if she stopped blaming Trump for things, if she admitted that some of the things she did was wrong, that she's going to make some changes, I guarantee you more people would be voting for her at this moment. The reason that she has to bring out celebrities and do all the things that she's doing right now is not because we're holding her to a higher standard. We don't like what she's done, and we don't see enough that's making us think, you know what, I'm going to vote for that person. Your color of skin is not going to do it. Because being a woman of color, being a woman is not going to do it. What's going to do it is that you be better than the other person, right? And I don't know why she picked Tim Walsh. She should have picked Ben Shapiro. He much better talker. Didn't help her case at all.
Well, that's an opinion, and it's a perspective, and there are other perspectives that need to be looked at. Like, for example, okay, now you can say that the reason that she's and I'm sorry, because when I listen to you, some of the things that you say, I feel like I'm listening to Trump, because he said the same things. Like one thing about me is I listen to both of them. I'm not like one of those people who will only listen to MSNBC or CNN or Fox. I listen to both, so I get a broader perspective, because I need to be able to make these arguments and be able to contrast. Somebody in the chat asked me what I like about the Democratic Party, what I like so much about the Democratic Party. I'm not going to stand up here and stand up for and tell you that the Democratic Party is great, and I'm not going to tell you that the Republican Party is bad. I don't have a problem well, I have problems with both, but the problems that I have with either or are not the problems that I have with them right now. I have a problem with MAGA, because MAGA is not Republican. They're not conservatives. It's more like a cultish type of thing, and I can't get with that. I don't have a problem with following rules and following laws and stuff like that. But one thing I understand is that every law, every rule, every bill has a dollar amount attached to it. Like, I understand politics. I'm not just one of those people who thinks that, like, you just vote and then they win and that's the way no, it's not the way it works. This is a money game. So when you ask a question like, or when you say something like the reason that she's bringing out these celebrities is because she knows she's not qualified or she's not the better candidate. No, she does it because she has the funding to do it. And every candidate who has had the money has done it. Each and every one. And Donald Trump would do it now. He doesn't have the cash flow. She has way more money than him. Donate it. Not just by corporate interests, but by the people who want her to win. So if you can best believe that if Donald Trump had A-list money, he would have A-list people. He ain't got it. He has way too many legal bills to pay. That's why he's selling shit. Sneakers, watches, Bibles, coins. What the fuck? He has a cash flow problem. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore it. So she knows that influence helps to get votes. So of course she can afford a Megan Thee Stallion. She can afford a Tyler Perry. She can afford a Barack Obama. She can afford a Beyonce, a Kelly Rowland, a Bruce Springsteen. She can fucking afford it. If he could do it, you know one thing about Donald Trump is that he doesn't have any problem spending money. Just check the debt that he left after his administration, more than any other president in history. He doesn't have any problem spending money as long as it's not his. I mean, remember, he's a branding expert. He doesn't spend his own money. He doesn't own anything outright. He sells his name. Come on. So because she has the money and because she can afford A-listers, she has them. And she's gaining an advantage. So while he's calling her stupid, she's outspending him and outgaining him because she's smarter. She's much smarter. And for you to say,
okay, so
wait a minute, wait. I just one point and one more point. For you to say that No, I'm sorry. For him to say, that, she's low IQ or whatever, and for you to say that she's not qualified, I'm like, what? She's a senator. She's been in politics for years. Like, she's come up through the ranks. She's been an elected official 3 times and going on her 4th. He has won 1 election. He's not a politician. He has not come up through the ranks. He doesn't read briefings. He doesn't understand politics. I'm not saying that he's dumb because he doesn't understand politics. A lot of people who think they understand politics don't understand it. But the reason that that he doesn't understand it is because he gives these sweeping blanket answers for things because he doesn't know. And his ego is too inflated for him to say, well, you know what? I need to consult with my people to find out some more about these things. Instead, he says, no, I know more about this thing than anybody else. And in a couple of weeks, I'll show you what I'm going to do. And then everybody forgets that he said that, even though it's on tape and nobody holds him to task, and it just goes away. He did that. He did that with Barack Obama with the birther thing. He did that when they asked him about the health insurance, the healthcare thing, healthcare plan when he was president. And a lot of the things that he's and you also said that she needs to stop blaming Donald Trump. Name a president that hasn't blamed the previous administration for some of the things that they had to clean up, including Donald Trump. I mean, did he ever get tired? Did he ever get tired of talking about Barack Obama to this day? Can he keep his name out of his mouth? Ever? Like, come on, man.
You got a few problems. I think this is where you're misunderstanding the people, right? Even inside of the chat, you can see some of the same things that's coming up. Let's go back. I'm trying to remember all this stuff. It is late. So let's go back to the beginning where you were saying that, he doesn't have
90 seconds.
A-list celebrities. I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't have the facts. I'm not in touch with Donald Trump. I wish I was, but I'm not. Right? I'm going to say that his campaign manager is not doing that. I think Elon Musk is funding him pretty well. By the book, he has. By the book, he has more money. So hear me out. I believe his campaign manager is like, hey, this is not what the American people want to see. You got people in your chat even saying, yeah, I don't want to see Megan Thee Stallion shaking her butt. That's not something I really
60 seconds.
But you're saying, I get you. While you're saying, hey, she's smarter because she's doing that, I don't know if that's necessarily a smart play, if that's what the American people want to see. Again, I'm telling you what I'm hearing and what I'm even reading in your chat, what the American people are trying to say. One thing you went on, you said again was about his not knowing, he doesn't understand politics, right? He's been in politics for a very long time. I'm like, wow, that's kind of like a Trump ad right there, because that's another reason why people are so fed up. People are mad about the fact that these politicians stay in politics for so long and they don't get anything done. They don't change. They just take the money. You said it's a money game. They just take the money and they stay in it to get more money and more money. That's another reason why people like Trump, because he's not a politician. Again, I get all the points you're making, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm telling you that the party, or at least that campaign, is not understanding that this is pissing the American people off, and they don't want to see these things. So saying that she's been in politics for a longer time is exactly one of the reasons why people don't like her, right? Because she's been in politics for so long and she hasn't done anything, okay? And then the last point you just made, you know what? I went back. I can't remember the last point you were just talking about right now, so I apologize.
It's all right. But it's funny because you said because he's not a politician. I'm like, okay, they like him because he's not a politician. That would be like me liking me needing a plumbing job done and me not liking the plumber because he's, me liking a electrician to do my plumbing work because he's not a plumber. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need a plumber to do my plumbing work. I need a carpenter.
You see that, and see that I'm trying to explain that thinking right there is exactly why Americans are pissed off. It's not because he's not a politician or he's not a plumber. It's because they're tired of being manipulated. And even though I agree that both of these candidates won't really do much move the needle. There won't be some war. There won't be some, some civil war if Kamala or Donald Trump gets elected. There's a good quote. You probably know this quote, but it's what was this? I can't think of the gentleman's name at the moment. But he was asked by some oil executives, hey, what does he think the next 10 years are going to look like? And he's like, about the way it does now, right? Because nothing really changes that much. Only thing that changes is that the people in power are going to pull the wool over your eyes, and they're going to make the changes that they want to make behind the scenes regardless. That I will agree on. But to sit here and say that the American people are wrong or silly or dumb for believing that not having a politician, a quote unquote politician in power is worse off is exactly why people feel misunderstood and exactly why more people are voting for Trump. You said she's gaining. I don't see, I've been looking at polls, studying this pretty much as I can, at least as much as my job. I have as a pilot, I got a super, super strict schedule, but I do my best to try to stay up on it, try to stay educated. And I'll tell you what, I do not see her gaining in polls. I see her losing traction in polls as more and more people don't care. Oh, that's what you brought up. You brought up the fact that I said she cries Trump all the time and Trump complains about Obama. This is very true. But the problem is that she's not known. She didn't do anything as a vice president to make her known, right? Mike Pence wasn't known. People just know the little bit about Mike Pence. I don't know crap about Mike Pence, right? What the hell did Mike Pence do? Somebody in the comments just said, what did Mike Pence do? Who the hell knows, right? Nobody knows what Kamala did either. This is her time to shine and to sell the American people on what she will do. And instead, every answer that she gives and every interview that she does is to blame Trump. I get it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. When they asked her about taxes, about immigration, and about like child care, about the economy, all she did was blame Trump.
Yes, I can name all of the answers that she gave for all of that. This is so crazy that I actually named that. So when about taxes, she said that the tax cut that Donald Trump gave in 2016 is the reason why we have mad inflation right now. That is an answer that she gave, right? When she talks about immigration, she says that because of Trump not telling them to block the bill that she wanted to pass 3.5 years after already being in office is the reason why we have mass immigration, right? Child care. She blames, actually, I don't know about child care. What was the last thing you said for that? Because everything you were pulling up, I'm like, yes, she blamed Trump for this in interviews.
No, she doesn't blame Trump for everything. Well, she does interject Trump, but she also tells you exactly what she's going to do. And I'm not sure how you missed that.
So, no.
And she explains it in detail. She explains it in detail.
Let's talk about one of the.
Wait a minute. Let me just ask you this: does she not explain aside from her blaming the previous administration? Does she not explain in detail any policy that you ask her about?
No, she does not.
Okay, so name a policy. Right, wait a minute. I have my phone in my hand, and I'm going to Google right now any policy that you bring up. I'm going to Google it, and we're going to see what if she just blames Trump about it. We can do this in real time. Name a policy.
If we're okay, so I want to say this. If we're going to do that in real time, right? Maybe we could pick a policy. I'll pull up a clip of her saying exactly.
Oh, I'm going to do that now. Just name it. But since it was my idea, name a policy. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's go with immigration.
Okay, immigration.
And so as you know, search for her after the immigration and search for
one at a time. What? Kamala Harris policy on immigration. Let's see. Because you might be right. Let's see.
And I'm going to bring up something I want to talk about really quickly while you're looking that up. It won't. You won't have to respond. There's not going to be anything that's necessarily negative to both. But when we talk about what both candidates are going to do in detail, we can look at the child care, right? So there's two different answers for child care for both parties, right? One answer for child care, which is Kamala, that she's going to up the child care credit, right? The tax, right? She says that's going to help people to get, car seats for their child, nobody's going to wait till they file their taxes to get a car seat, right? When they have their baby, right? Nobody just has their baby around income tax returns. But I digress.
Well,
right?
the tax cuts go on your check, on your paycheck, sir. The tax cuts.
She's giving a deductible. The child tax credit, you can bring that up too. The child tax credit that's already available.
Yes, but she's talking about. But she has also talked about putting more money in your paycheck because the tax cuts are going there too. Now, don't say that she doesn't, because I come on now, don't you can't have it both ways. Or should I say you can't have it only your way?
Which tax cuts? Because you can also Google this as well. If she cancels,
listen, we don't have all night. We're already in overtime. What we doing here? Now, do you?
Okay. I was gonna go to both policies.
No, we listen. We've been on since 2 a.m. I'm on the East Coast. I don't know where you are, but I'm on the East Coast. So it's 4:08 in the morning now. So this has to be the last thing we do. So
okay, I got you. I was just gonna make my last statement because comparing the policies, and you can answer with the tax immigration.
Okay.
So the last thing I would say was the other. But the detail that she didn't give was how is she gonna pay for those extra tax credits, right? That's the details. Where's that money coming from? Okay. Now, I'm just gonna converse, okay?
Okay.
But the same thing could be said about the other side, right? The J.D. Vance and Donald Trump for the same thing for childcare. What they say they want to do is they want to take money that's already available and give that money to people to take care of children, right? So if you got parents that are working a job right now that don't pay much money, right? They can pay them to take care of their kids. The government will pay them to take care of the children instead, or they can give that money to churches or group communities. Can apply for that money, and they can be paid to watch the children instead, right? So again, he didn't offer specifics on how they're going to pay for that. Other than that, there's already money available, but how much money is available? Is that enough money? So they both don't offer necessarily.
No, they're not on the same level. He doesn't offer any further information other than I'll do it. He doesn't give any other information. Come on, man. Come on. It's not like I don't look at this guy. He doesn't provide anything. He deflects. All right, go ahead.
No, I feel like I've made the case for trying to be in the middle here, trying to show both sides do very similar things, and I've tried to lay out the evidence. I feel like you. No.
I'm not. Listen. Neither one of them. I'll tell you this. Before Biden dropped out. And by the way, I feel like Biden didn't drop out. I actually feel like this was the plan all along. I really do. I don't think that he ever, if you think about it, before he ran in his first term, he sort of indicated that he only wanted to get Trump out of there and do this for one term. But I think that he really just wanted to introduce Kamala in a way that would give her an advantage by making her the vice president. And I don't believe that he was so decrepit and sick and lost all his cognitive abilities that he couldn't perform. I don't think so. Because if you notice, after that debate, he was incoherent for the most part, right? 24 hours later, it was like nothing ever happened to this guy. He was in perfect shape. He was totally coherent. He was easy to understand. He wasn't slurring in any of his words. He looked energetic. He looked great. So, but he couldn't just drop out of the race and say, well, listen, I don't want to run for the second term because I'm getting older and I really don't want to do this in my older days and, in my old age and stuff like that. He couldn't do that. So they had to have a reason. Now, if you remember or if you don't know about this, because I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't know about this, the donors had cut off the funding to Joe Biden after that debate. They said they weren't giving any money, not only to him, but to the whole Democratic Party. They said because he's not going to win and he's going to cause everybody else to lose. So Shortly after that, it took a few weeks because they couldn't do it immediately. So they had to give it enough time to cook. Other constituents are saying he needs to drop out. He needs to drop out. He was saying that there's no way I'm going to drop out. First, he said that there was no way he was going to drop out. And then he said there was no way he was going to drop out unless it could be proven to him that he couldn't win. And then he dropped out, right? Then he finally dropped out. But I was like, interesting. He said that he wouldn't drop out unless it could be proven to him that there was no way he could win. Well, yeah. If all of your funding is taken away from you and you don't have money to fly, you don't have money for ads, you don't have money for rallies, you don't have any money to pay campaign managers and other people who are working on the campaign, yeah, there is no way you can win that way. There is no way you could win. So he dropped out. But I think that was the plan. So now he was able to drop out and save face, and she was able to. Think about it. 24 hours later, she raised more money in 24 hours than any candidate before her. Come on, that didn't seem. I know. Now listen, that seemed awfully WWE to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, more money than ever. She broke a record in 24 fucking hours. Nobody was checking for Kamala Harris. Nobody was saying Joe needs to go and Kamala Harris is who we want. Nobody was saying that. 24 hours later, they were, though. Seems a little strange to you? Seems a little strange to me. So that is strange. Now listen. I'm for everybody who thinks I'm never objective and things like that. I look at what people do. So all of that shit, like I know a fraud when I see one. That's why every time I look at Donald Trump, I see a fraud. I mean, he's full of shit. Now, he has a hypnotic personality over certain people, but you can't fool everybody all the time. I know that Kamala Harris is not perfect. Like, had she run from the beginning, I wouldn't have voted for her. She ran in the previous election. I didn't vote for her. She never made it to Iowa. So that showed you what the American people thought of her. But when a plan is put in place and evidently somebody knew what they were doing, and I can't prove that what I said, my little conspiracy theory, I can't prove that it happened, but it sounds plausible to me. If I'm just looking at the way that I would garner attention for somebody and support for somebody, I think that this is probably the way I would do it. So I'm saying all of that, and I really got to go now. I mean, this fucking quarter after 4. But check it out. But hold on, before you go, I just want to say this. First of all, before you go, I want to thank you for calling in, and I want to thank you for holding your ground, standing your ground, whatever you might call it, because a lot of times, first of all, it takes a lot of balls to call in and have your thoughts together, and that's why most people avoid calling in. Because it's one thing, it's easy. It's like the difference between texting and writing. I mean, texting and talking. A lot of people will text because it's sort of like a game of ping pong or tennis or something. Like you serve, then I serve. You know what I mean? Like you can think about what you say before you write it, even though you might not be able to spell well and have really terrible grammar, especially if you have an iPhone. But when you have to communicate with a person in real time and they're questioning you and they're debating you and things. So I want to tell you that you did a really good job and I appreciate you calling in. So even though we may not agree on everything, I do believe that we have undertones of agreeing on some things, and that's cool. You know how they say we can agree to disagree. Well, I don't like to say that. I could say I like to say we agree separately. And I think that's okay. You know what I mean? I think that's more than okay. So like, thanks for calling in, and please visit the channel again, because we talk about this kind of shit. And for this next week, it ain't over. We gonna still do this kind of shit. Yeah.
Hey, I call it again. Maybe have a little segment called In the Middle, where two people try to debate the opposite side and see if they come to an agreement with it. But anyway, I digress again. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Have a good night, man. All right. Good caller. Great stuff. Listen, I see that we have other callers on the line. No, I'm sorry. It's 4:17 in the morning. We will do these birthday shout outs. We're going to get out of here. I've already had a long day. I have no business being up right now. And when I say no business, I mean, like, listen, I'm dead on my feet. I just look like I'm sitting up. I'm really laying down. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. Hold on, before I do that. So you mean to tell me a lot of y'all been watching this show all the way for the past 2 hours, 2.5 hours almost, and I only get 34 likes? I don't care if you hate me. You know what I mean? We can do better than that. Y'all are stingy with your likes. I know some of y'all liked it. Even if you didn't like what I said, you liked something because you don't hang around late night when there's nothing to do. You're smoking your weed, you're drinking your beer, your liquor, and you're eating your edibles, you're popping your pills, you're working at the job, you're sneaking in watching YouTube when you should be hard at work. All that kind of stuff. 36 likes. It's a travesty, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to get you back. I hope you do your own show one day, and I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like yours. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. All right. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 28th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. Princess Diamond, happy birthday to you. And also Iris T. Pendleton, happy birthday to you. And Jerome Michael, I guess, but it looks like Mikkel. Happy birthday to you. And also Carolina Queen, happy birthday. And Christine Lester Harity, happy birthday to you. And she's raising money for the Gardenzia. Oh, it just says Gardenzia. All right, cool. And Deborah Irby, happy birthday to you. And my man, Vincent Mason Jr., happy birthday. And last but not least, my man, comedian Stan Tennell. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious October 28th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, Madison Square Garden, listen, they was talking real hard. I don't understand what happened with the man, but they talked about a lot of people like they was in the sand. And you know the sand is on the ground just like dirt. And I know a lot of people's feelings really got hurt. I even felt some kind of way. Hey, it's a different thing when they talk about somebody that's gay. Even if you ain't that way, you might still feel it. And that shit is crazy. Who does it appeal to? Yeah, maybe you and your crew, but it doesn't go for everybody. Listen, boo, it's going to be a different day, a different time. If y'all let the motherfucker in the White House, I'm going to have to pack my bags and leave. I got to get a real ID and be up out of this shit, see? Because I can't go through 4 more years of that bullshit. No way. No way. No. Kamala Harris, I hope you whoop that ass. Whoop that ass. You know what? I hope that you whoop that ass. Whoop that ass. Whoop that ass. Take that bastard out of here. You gotta go. No orange. No orange. No orange slice. No orange crush. No orange. What are the other orange soda drinks? No high C, no Tang, no nothing. I don't want to see that orange motherfucker again. Ever. Other than that, thank y'all for coming through the show, man. I really appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. We will be back. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night at 2 a.m. Yes, we do it late. 2 a.m. for another Daily Go Getimism show. So make sure y'all come on through. We're going to be talking about something good. We might be talking about something political. We might be talking about something dealing with relationships. We might be talking about something dealing with education. We might be talking about something dealing with family. We might be talking about something dealing with your job or your mental state or your physical health or your emotional health. Or we might be talking about aliens in the sky or worms that's in the dirt or fish that's in the sea or whales that come with me. I talk whale. All right, y'all. We out of here. All right, man. Have a good night, man. Peace. Appreciate y'all. All right, hold on. Let me get Blog Talk out of here first. Let me get Blog Talk out of here first. They go Betty bye. They go goodbye and we go Betty bye. All right, peace. All right. And I holla. Peace, y'all. Have a good night. Woo!